literally as simple as that. The arm, you have to have the arm to have an arm bar. Okay, everything else can be the same, but if the arm's not in there, it doesn't matter. Okay, so that becomes one of the fundamental definitions of the arm bar. You must have the arm. Okay? The other part we look at is 90+% of the time, the pressure has to be where the elbow is. The pressure has to be above the elbow, not below the elbow. And again, it's not a perfect science. Just ask Tim Sylvia when radius and ulna were broken by Frank Mir. His elbow was clear, but his forearms are like this long. So it's also a little different. But these become the definitions. And so realistically speaking, the moment I start making my connection to Dave, okay, I need to generally control the wrist, place the pressure behind the elbow, and then isolate the head so that I can isolate the shoulder. The shoulder is the actual target we're going for. The head is just how we isolate the shoulder. It's one of, but it's not the only. But all we have to do is isolate the shoulder so that when I put pressure here and put pressure here, that he can't just wiggle out of it and find his escape. Okay? But when I am going for the arm bar, if my pressure needs to be here, Dave legit only needs to make a little shift. And once the pressure shifts just slightly off of his elbow, he's taking away the vast majority of the threat, unless you're Tim Sylvia. So when I'm going into my arm bar, okay, and I'm bringing him forward, boom, 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 right here, okay, very difficult. If this leg has not anchored, then right now, I mean, I can go for the arm bar pretty much all I want. I don't have control over the shoulder yet. Now, if I got on top of the shoulder and locked here, this works. Because remember, the shoulder is the only thing that I need to actually anchor. But in most cases, especially for arm bars, we anchor the head because it's a faster, easier target to get the same result. But while I am bringing my leg over, this is time that right here, if he shifts his elbow, start pulling it, okay? Get the elbow off my groin. Nope, pull, yep. Even if his hand is still in, okay, for here, it would be foolish of me to continue trying to go for an arm bar. It would actually be better for me to pull his arm back inside, then go for the arm bar. But his whole thing is pulling the elbow to freedom, okay? So, as soon as he pulls his elbow, where's he going? He's gonna stack and pass. Push in and finish your pass. Okay? So almost every arm bar, when it fails, they're stacking and they're passing. He pulls almost every time, like clockwork. Okay? So that's gonna be the part we're gonna do right now. Set him up on the arm bar. Right here, when we make our pivot, he's gonna yank his arm. His head is gonna sit up and push into my legs. And immediately he's going to start to drop his shoulder towards my shoulder. And at that point in time, not only will he escape the arm bar, but he'll also then seal the position at the end. All right, let's hit that one. 1, 2, 3. He's predictable. So when I go for the arm bar, again, predictability. He's going to try to get his arm free. When the arm is free, predictability. He's going to be trying to get his head up and he's looking to turn that corner as quickly as possible. He doesn't want to sit there and play in my guard. He wants to pass my guard and he wants to get active as quickly as he can. Okay? So again, as I'm in and I go through here, the moment I feel that arm beginning to pull. Now again, remember, I'm already cleating. I'm already pulling my legs in. I'm already going for the arm bar. And that heel is already starting to make its turn to the outside. And then he's pulling his arm. So my goal is to make my left leg pin his head down so that he can't just turn that corner and try to make the aggressive spin, okay? So now through here, if Dave wants to continue to become aggressive, his right hand has to start posting to the ground. Otherwise, he's gonna find it incredibly difficult to really do anything, okay? So what's gonna happen is, as he starts posting that hand down, I'm going to stomp, lift my hips up slightly so that I can change my angle. When he was here, I don't really have the reach that I need. So if when I push my heel down, I lift my hip, okay, that could give me what I'm looking for to ultimately be able to get to his arm. I'm putting that pressure down into the back of his neck. And then this leg is just controlling his back. Right here, he's gonna have a hard time trying to make a somersault to find his way out. So now, this arm, which way does he play the game? Right now, he chose forward. Wrong choice, Dave. Okay? Immediately from here, tap. Armbar is directly from here. He put it to the front. All I have to do is underhook. I take it and I pull. Tap. So I'm taking his thumb and rolling it. It exposes his elbow. Right from here, he's stuck. If he plays it to the other side, then from here, I play into the Kimura. Whether it's a split grip Kimura, okay, just holding on to the elbow, holding on to the wrist, or whether it's traditional grip, nobody cares. Okay? When I'm in, I can go split, okay, or I can lock up traditional. Again, hand is out here. I'm going to put my pressure in, collect his arm, and then pull it back for the armbar. So once I go into my rodeo guard, which is the moment he pulls his arm out, stomp your head, or stomp the foot on the back of the head, make his head go down. At that moment in time, you'll feel it. You're not gonna be able to pick your head up, not if they're doing it. They're gonna have to put a hand on the floor to be able to start to sit up, or they have to go a different direction for the escape. Okay? It's that dedication that allows me to slip my foot underneath the bicep, hug into the back of the tricep. Like I said, I don't care if your hand is here or here. Makes no difference to me. Kimura, if it's in the backwards position, and I'll just go arm bar in the front. Either way, it makes no difference. Okay? All right, let's give it a shot. Again, likelihood is, when I go for the arm bar, through here, Dave is going to be looking to pull the arm, okay? And then again, we know that his head is going to be looking to come through. So, when I'm in, part of my rodeo guard, which is the stomping of his head to put it down. So, this is where, again, the drill that we just did of bringing my foot in and going into my lazy boy. So, this leg through here, my hamstring is already connected to his head. So when I stomp, okay, it's a legal strike in the game. I mean, what's the difference between a punch and a push?
Speed.
Nope.
Closed fist. A closed fist.
Nope.
Intention.
Nope. My speed will be intentionally the same on all of them. A punch starts at distance, accelerates, and then makes impact. A push starts with impact, is going to accelerate as hard as it can to create the distance. But as far as my leg is concerned, they is identical. Okay, and again, I push all the time in jiu-jitsu with clenched fists, so open hand, closed hand makes no difference. Right now though, Dave's head is literally connected to my leg. How, by definition, could this be a hit? It could only ever be a push, even though it's going to feel like I'm going to hit it. Okay? Because from here, when I make my stomp, okay, it's going to pop. Instead of just pushing to bring him down, I'm going to take my leg, okay, and I'm going to extend, make the stomping, okay, and then do a retraction. Okay? So, when I make my stomp, my leg is then going to climb over the head and then take myself into the omaplata position. So I'm in, my papas, I'm here. I'm going to stomp to create the space as my angle is being created. Now my hamstring and my foot will replace each other. So now through here, as my hamstring disappears, my ankle now connects to the side of his face. Now through here, My feet are going to continue to push down, and I'm going to turn my hips to the outside. So everything is going to be looking to face Dave in the process. Okay? And now this is where it becomes interesting for different people, is the ability now to make the sit-up. So depending on where you're at, we can anchor into the body. I can anchor over his outside thigh, hold on to his body through here. I'm making this motion, and then I'm curling to pull myself up into position. I'm using the open senkaku. Look at that, I used. I don't need to cross my legs at all.
Pinky's out, y'all.
Huh?
So pinky's out, y'all. He's using fancy terminology.
Yes. Now through here, this hand, okay, we can go one-on-one, we can just lock up into the shoulder, we can just underhook, and then the pressure is going to be my knee going to the floor, and I'm just going to elevate my hips. Okay, the moment they tap, we back out to release the tension. Don't get excited, and go forward. Go forward, trash the arm, go backwards. Okay, I'm in, he pulls. Through here, I'm going to use my leg to create the space as my foot comes over, and then they replace. Okay, if this leg stays down, watch his arm. He gets to go pretty much wherever he likes. His hand can go forward. Okay, my knees now, as my right one pushes down, my left scissors up, then we make our pull. None of this I've done so far was using my hands yet at all. It's the lower body pressure that's the bulk. This is where everybody screws up. Okay. In chess, okay, and again, I'm not a chess master, so I'm probably going to screw up the. Okay, but in chess, you have the bishops, you have the knights, or the castles, whatever, the rooks. So these are very linear. Okay, bishops are diagonal, but they're still linear. Okay, and then you got the little horsies. Okay, they're the first ones that turn corners. So your omaplata is corner one, straighten out, corner two. There are two corners. Arm bars, we change the angle to hit our linear attack. Okay, most of our stuff is that way. We angle once to get to the linear attack. These are, we cut the angle to go for the linear, and when it was defended, then now we make the little hook attack. But again, it's one of these where if all I did was pushed him forward and thought I was just going to push him like this, he's not going to feel enough pressure into his shoulder. When I turn my hips, say I'm actually even pulling away from Dave and pull his shoulder, now I make my technical stand, or I come up to a combat base, just like I was showing the group yesterday. What's the difference between this and this? I mean, it's just what this leg is doing. Other than that, it's my same position. So even when I'm making my Kimura sit-ups, it starts with the hip twist. Okay, this is also your omoplata. There's really no difference between them, other than it looks fancier because of how we're getting into it. And I have Dave's body to kind of get into play. But it goes into the principles, just go all fours. So right now, Dave is based out in all four directions, all four majors, okay? Put this hand behind your back, okay? So again, through here, if I take Dave and I'm just gonna push on him, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall, okay? Super strong. Don't fall, don't fall. So again, if all I do, go on your knees, let me have your arm. Okay, head up, no. Now right here, get a good base. Good base, head up, head up. Okay, I'm gonna push you forward and don't fall. Okay, eventually it gets to a point where his base will overcome my power. My hips were literally lifting up off the ground. There's nowhere left for me to go. Okay, so now I'm going to put that same forward tension, and now when I make that side motion, that's when this table collapses. Now, that's the hard part though. Two pressures simultaneously. One is down, one is sideways. What happens is, I always screwed it up. All sideways, no down, or all forward and no sideways. Okay? The two have to go in connection to get your diagonal pressure. And then again, once it's there, okay, forward, curl, sit up, through here, close it so the arm has a hard time getting out, and then just like coming into most of our stuff, right through here, pressure is just going to go to that knee to make our break. All right, excuse me.